Welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing another question that came up, and it actually is a good question. It is something that I already kind of went over in a couple of episodes, but maybe not to the specifications of the way it was brought up this time around. So I'm going to be talking about the question and a little bit about the episodes. The episodes that I did several episodes ago was on the topic of first-time Malinois owner. So I did an interview with this guy who is a first-time Malinois owner, pretty not tough, but a pretty drivey working dog. First-time Malinois owner. So I did the whole interview with him. I'm answering his questions. And then I did a follow-up session where I answered some of his questions that he has sent me, and I just made an episode about it. Now, this particular question is along the same line, so I'll kind of read it real quick. So I'll just get right to the question. As a first working dog, should I go for a serious working dog or a more biddable dog? I've got my mentor to help me out, and he has two very strong GSDs, and with them, I just think I could train them just as well, if not better. But the quote-unquote first-time working dog owner in me is telling me to get a more hobbyist-level biddable dog. What should I do? So this person does not have a working dog just yet. He does have a mentor. He is learning the ropes. He is understanding, and he's starting to feel confidence in his ability to understand what's happening, but he doesn't have a dog of his own just yet. So the question is, what kind of dog should I get? Should I get like a hobbyist, like a biddable type of dog, or should I get a much more tougher, very strong type of serious working dog? There are so many variables here in this question that I don't know for sure. One, I don't know this guy, the person who submitted the question. I don't know you personally. I don't know your skill level. I don't know your mentor. I don't know your mentor's skill level. That doesn't mean that just because I don't know you doesn't mean that you're not good. I really don't know. This is one of those assessments that it's very hard to make over a message or even over the phone, and that's just how it is. Unless I know you, it'd be very hard for me to tell you. But I'm gonna address your question too. Another variable that we'll run into here is, what do you or your mentor consider biddable dogs, right? What do you consider a hobbyist level dog? Also, what is your definition of a hard working dog? What's your definition of a serious working dog? Those are variables. I don't know. There are people whose definition of a serious working dog is basically the dog is very defensive. So if a dog is very defensive, some people will call that a serious working dog. Defensive meaning the dog is not really in prey drive. He's a lot of vocalization, very low pitch vocalization. He's more more on the defensive, and people will call that serious dogs. So is that what you mean? Is that what your definition of a serious working dog is? Is that your mentor's definition of a serious working dog? So you have to look at that, right? My definition of a serious working dog would be a dog that is very nice, balanced in terms of his prey drive. His defense drive is still definitely there. He's able to have a nice, level-headed demeanor about him where he will bite in prey. He's having a blast, but he's also safe around anybody. However, when the situation arises, the dog can switch and it can switch back and be safe. This is more of a temperament trait. Some think that this can be trained, and to an extent, I think it can, but a lot of it is temperament, very individual. Not all dogs are like this. So that is more my definition of what I would consider a hard, working dog. So still safe, still still has potential to be difficult in the wrong hands, but overall safe, right? If I have a dog that is too defensive, that is very cautious, and that that I can only trust with like a couple of people, some people will call that a serious dog. I don't even know what to call it. To me, it's more of a liability. Personally, I don't like that type of dog, but some people do, and that is perfectly fine. Just because I don't like that type of dog, it doesn't mean that those dogs don't have their place. But some people will call that, that's a real serious dog, and they like that. Whereas if they see a dog doing protection work, if they see a dog doing bite work, on the sleeve, they'll call that dog. They'll refer to that dog as that dog is not serious. That dog is just show, and it's just playing, and there's no seriousness in that dog. When in reality, that might not be the case at all. But now to just assume that that your definition of a serious dog is somewhat aligned to mine, right? Meaning this is still a safe dog, but it can be a handful, but it still requires a lot of mental and physical stimulation, a lot of communication. But in most homes, it wouldn't be the right dog. In the right home, it would be. Right? That would be more I would say more of an advanced level type of dog for certain for certain owners, not even pet owners, for certain owners. There are some dogs that I know would do great with some people that have the skill and have the knowledge and have the lifestyle to provide to this dog, and the dog would do great. But if I grab that same dog and I put him with a pet owner who's maybe not as not as prepared, not as knowledgeable, not as skilled, and doesn't have the ability to provide that dog with a good lifestyle, that dog would do horrible. And then you have your dogs that are very biddable. Okay, now a biddable dog is not bad. So the question here kind of sounds a little bit like, should I get a serious dog or should I get a more biddable dog? As though biddable dog means something bad. I'm not saying that that's your intent. I'm not saying that that's the intent of the question. So don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say here. It's a good question. That's why I'm making an episode on it. It's a good question. So biddable dog doesn't mean bad. Okay. I know. I mean, I have a dog like that in my club that is very biddable, but he's a super nice dog. Really, really nice dog. He's one of my club members' dogs. I mean, I love that dog. Super, super nice. Awesome dog. If you follow my YouTube channel and you watch my videos, you'll see that dog in plenty of my videos. His name is Braun. He has the handler who has the flip-flops. He's always wearing his flip-flops and shorts. And that dog is very biddable. Now, he's not necessarily like your pet owner dog, but he could do well. He could do decent with a pet owner. I'm not saying that dog is perfect. He does have his moments where he will kind of rebel, so to speak. But overall, he's a really nice dog. Biddable. I mean, he's very handler aware. And this dog would do well even with your hobbyist. Okay? But he's a nice dog. Biddable doesn't make him bad. Biddable for him is he's very handler aware, very safe, incredibly safe dog. But he has a nice bite. He's very committed to his work. He's not a quitter. He's a tough dog. He is a very confident dog. So biddable doesn't mean bad. You can, as a quote unquote hobbyist, as a entry level handler, you can get a dog that has all those great qualities. He's incredibly safe, very biddable, and he's also an incredibly hard worker, and he just loves to work. So biddable is not bad, okay? Biddable doesn't mean a soft pancake. Biddable doesn't mean a submissive dog. That's not what it means at all. So as a beginner, I would suggest you find the right breeder. First, before that, get your definitions right. Okay, that would be my first suggestion. Get your definitions right. Really understand what a hard dog is. Okay, and maybe cross-reference with other people. Maybe if you're just hearing it from your mentor, again, I don't know you, I don't know your mentor, but maybe if you're just hearing one person's definition of what a hard dog is, cross that reference with other people. Go to other people, ask them, hey, what do you consider a hard dog? And ask a bunch of people, do some of your research, visit other clubs, train with other people, and you'll notice that people have slightly different definitions of what a hard dog is. So a hard dog, if you're thinking a hard dog is just a difficult dog, that doesn't mean the same. That's not the same. I could give you a very submissive dog that is very difficult. Okay, I'll give you a very submissive dog that is very, very difficult, because they can be a pain. This would be a more of a high level or more advanced skill level handler type of dog. Still wouldn't want that dog. Okay, so get your definition straight. Realize that biddable doesn't mean bad. Okay, hard dog doesn't always mean good. And once you get that right, once you have assessed and you've seen a bunch of different dogs, you'll know exactly what kind of dog you should get. Okay, once you've done that, the next thing I would say, once you understand your definitions and you know now what you're looking for, then what I would say is talk to more than one breeder. Get connections. When I first got my dog Rust, that's the dog that is in a bunch of my videos in which I'm handling the dog. He's a Malinois. He's a nice dog. I've learned so many lessons from that dog. But he's an incredibly difficult dog. He's very, very difficult, and he's not the nicest dog. I'm very honest about this. He's not gifted genetically in the least. He's a difficult dog. I mean, I put a lot of hard work into him. He has some environmental issues that I've had to work through. Very, very, put a lot of training sessions and a lot of hours. And he's just not a difficult dog. I'm sorry, he's not an easy dog. He's a very, very difficult dog. He's not the best dog. He doesn't have the best genetics. But his redeeming quality is he's incredibly prey-driven. And he is a hard worker. He's just very difficult. Okay? And when I got him, I didn't have the right connections. I truly did not have the right connections when I got Rust. I just kind of did just a tiny little bit of research myself. I didn't have anybody to cross-reference with, where I didn't have somebody to go, hey, what do you think about this breeder? Somebody who had experience in the field. I didn't have people that I could talk to and go, hey, I want a nice working dog. What do you suggest? I want a nice working dog for protection sports. What do you suggest? I didn't have people in my network to help me with that. So I got Rust. And he's been a blessing in disguise because he's taught me so many lessons. But now I have a lot of people in my network. Now I can instantly pick out where to get a super nice dog. I can do that now because I know a lot of people in the field now. I have a lot of connections now. And even if I don't know about a certain breed, or even if I don't know about a certain type of dog that I want, I could cross-reference with. So I can contact a bunch of people who I know will know that breeder, and they can tell me, hey, yeah, that breeder actually does produce some nice dogs. Or they might tell me, hey, my experience has been that a lot of dogs that I've seen from that breeder or from that dog, from that female or from that male, typically are have some of these traits, and then that'll give me an idea, and then I can make an educated decision on whether I should get that dog or not. So once you expand your network in the working dog field, you're gonna be better prepared to choose the right dog. Like I am now. When I first got Rust, I wasn't. So I got Rust, and it was just rolling the dice. Now, even still, when you get a dog, even from nice breeders, even from good good bloodlines, you're still kind of rolling the dice. You're getting a puppy, and you're going on the odds being on your favor, but you're still kind of rolling the dice with every puppy that you get. You're still always kind of rolling that dice. But that's what I would say. First, figure out for your mentor, and cross-reference with other people what a hard dog is, what a biddable dog is, and realize that biddable doesn't mean bad. You should get a nice handler-aware biddable dog. You don't want to fight your dog. And two, once you kind of have an idea of what you want and you understand now your definitions and they match what you're looking for, then expand your network. Okay, this might take a little bit of time, but don't rush into it. Getting a dog is a 10-year commitment at least. That's 10 years of your life technically. Okay, that's practically a 10-year commitment, unless you're willing to wash your dog and sell them, or bring it back to the breeder. Those are options that you can take as well. But wait a little bit, expand your network, and then make a more educated decision once you have an idea of what you're looking for, and realize that biddable is not bad. Okay, and hard, tough, strong doesn't always mean the best. Okay, you have to look at each individual. All right, that's pretty much it for the episode. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to the podcast, and check out my books. I have the Decoy book, I have Info Every Dog Trainer Should Know, and I have Common Myths About Dogs Debunked, all on Amazon. Just type on the search bar William Garrido, that's Garrido, and I'll see you on the next episode.